Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would have a small little video here a second as a bit of a catch up what's been going on. This isn't farm related at the moment. It's blowing a hoolie outside and I've gone into the baling shed to do this chat because it's got the least amount of wind and are currently on our old Dutch tin barn. There are roof panels flying around the yard, so it's probably safer for me in here. On the last video I did, which was addressing the budget, I said that I put together a farmers to action group. In that farmers to action group, that has grown exponentially at the moment. There's a website. It's across all social medias. In one of the first meetings, came across two awesome individuals up at Exeter, Steve Webber and Johnny Webber, and also software engineers, web designers. So they made a website. Currently there are 38 or 39 counties that are starting to put groups or teams of farmers together in order to do a giant protest across the whole country in every county at the same time. So that's where we are. In that, there has been loads of Zoom meetings that I've seen lots of people on, not necessarily everyone from this channel, but this is me sort of reaching out to you guys that have followed me in ads for a long time and you've got a bit more of a relationship with us, to give me any feedback of where you are with things. Now, where I am with things is something needs to be done on this inheritance tax, because to every UK farmer, there is about 20 people to every single one of us that is dependent on us to do our job in order for them to have a job. And that goes everywhere from, obviously, the list I gave a few weeks ago, way a few weeks ago now, on everything from machinery dealers, distributors, transport, etc. Then it came to my attention that with this narrative that we've been given, it's kind of the golden egg. If we all look at it in the right way, we could actually end up putting together a new union built off action and not lobbying, because lobbying isn't working. I don't think lobbying has ever worked, but lobbying definitely isn't working now. So that leads me to, I will drop a picture here of an idea that has been put out and put together, is we end up building some sort of food union that looks after itself all within one tent, as it were, or under the umbrella. And in that, then, we would possibly invite the fisheries and transport sector or independent transport sector and have all the individual pillars of agriculture. And therefore going forward, and not just everyone at the moment's, inheritance tax, we're all about going forward now. Inheritance tax is going. It will go. It's not going to stay. There's too many individuals around the country that are doing things about it. But what about the next steps? Once we get rid of that, why not we start pushing back on all the red tape and issues that we have within all our individual sectors that we don't want anymore, and having a union that represents us. So, as you've just seen in the picture I've left above, that is sort of the model. It's not quite the model, because obviously there's like be a pillar of poultry and things that aren't in that, but it gives you the basics idea. And I put this, and I've been doing presentations of this for the last few weeks, like most evenings on Zoom, to hundreds of farmers, and going to meetings and putting it out there to farmers face to face. And I've got to say, there is a lot, I'm going to say, warm to the idea. I'm not going to speak on behalf of everyone and say everyone said it, oh, it's a fantastic idea, because I haven't spoken to everyone individually and I can't give that answer. But within the website that we've created, we can poll, and by getting more people into it, which is farmerstoaction.com or .org, will take you all there. I'll leave links below for anyone at the end of this video. Go and have a look. In that website, it is completely private, it's completely free. It is basically a network for us to effectively militarize agriculture, because we do have the infrastructure to stop this country moving, completely. We are all fed up with multiple things. The IHT is inheritance tax has literally just been the thing that broke the camel's back, as it were, and we all are in agreement, and we're all not very happy. And for the first time, agriculture is on the same page. But again, back to the union. If we had a union that actually represented all of us, any legislation put in, say, to a dairy sector, wouldn't it be good if we could have like the arable boys go and defend the dairy boys? Therefore, we don't have any conflict of contracts. And if we had a system which could look after itself like that, or if any new legislation was pulled out and put on, the umbrella could come together and say, no, that's just not happening. You can stop that in, Westminster and just cut it out. Because the way I see this, if we keep having any more legislation, it's getting to the point of what is the point. So that's what I've been up to. I've been doing loads and loads of meetings. I've been on somewhere in the region of 30 to 40 phone calls a day. I honestly don't know anymore. I've spoken to so many people on trying to connect different groups in agriculture sector together, different farmers together, different networks together, in order to a big picture of possibly changing our industry for the better. And there's a multitude of things that all annoy all of us. All these green taxes, which are nonsense. For instance, I've got a load of notes over here. For instance, we in the UK, we export 74,000 tonnes of beef a year, right? Export that. We import 122,000 tonnes of beef. In what world does that make sense? Surely we should be just importing the 50,000 tonnes of beef, which is the bit we're missing, for that to be a green system, for us to send beef out and then bring away that and more in. Makes absolutely no sense to a green narrative, in my mind. And I will quite happily argue that one to the bitter death with anyone that is a climate activist. But what it does say is British beef is of very high quality, and where it's going is very interesting. It's going like some places like Dubai, down into the Mediterranean, holiday or resorts, hotels. So our beef is going to good places, and we are bringing in beef from outsourcing it. And it just doesn't make any sense. Again, same with grains. I have actually lost a piece of paper that gave me all my statistics on that one, but we don't export as much grain, or we haven't done in 2023 as we have before, but we're still exporting wheat and also bringing the same wheat in, as in bread milling wheat. So what is the point of sending any out and bring it in? Why not just bring in what we haven't made? So there's lots of hypocrisy going on in the statistics world. We could attack all the single farm payment stuff that we disagree with if we had a union that represented ourselves. But we've got to such a point of nothing making sense in our industry that, as everyone can tell, I haven't been doing a lot of YouTube videos, and I've put all my attention to this because I can see possibly in the long term that there could be big benefits, because the agriculture sector is actually being brought together through number 10's stupidity of obviously bringing this inheritance tax to the forefront of things. Because quite frankly, we've all been jumping through hoops for way, way too long. And it's also mental to think that we actually now have a bigger population than France does. And France is 4 times the size of us. So for British farmers, especially, and even I'm going to say the fishermen, how on earth any of us in the food industry are struggling the way we do, all scratching our heads how to try and generate more income, is baffling, because we have one of the densest populations to area in the world. So this all basically comes down to politics and the global market, as I said in the last video. But there's a big but here. As of now, the food industry is starting to tear itself to pieces, as the stupidity of Arla last week and putting in obviously Bavur into animal feed, which a lot of people aren't liking, people are starting to go back and look for their local farmer. I've heard a lot of milk dispensing systems are getting way more traffic than they have before. I've been contacted a bunch of times, do I know any way you get raw milk or good milk? Fortunately, I get my milk from a mate of mine up the road, How Now Dairy. I'll give him a name drop there. Ollie up there, which is all milk, all pasteurised in-house, doesn't go to any third party to have anything done with it, and he sells it all himself. So hopefully with Arla's balls up, more little companies like that from the agriculture sector start popping up. Because if we think back, and this is something I keep discussing with people, if we think back to, like, I'm going to go my grandfather's back from their generations, when we were all, like, across the country, all way more diverse mixed farms, you would have a variety of produce to sell to the consumer. Then somehow our industry tricked us all into basically going streamline. You must go streamline. Streamline's the way to go forward. Streamline's the only way to make money. Well, streamline is the only way to make money if you've got to sell directly to a corporation, because we've basically been tricked into being production lines. And production lines are about efficiency, and everyone's doing a singular modular thing, and it flows. That's how corporate markets work. Corporate markets don't want us being diverse and having the option to sell multiple produce. So I have a feeling in the next few years, the way this is going, everyone could be becoming more diverse than they are now. Because I've got a feeling people, with the mistake Arla have just made, and people haven't even got to the appeal labelling yet. Appeal is spelled A-P-E-E-L. It is a chemical compound that is sprayed on fruit and veg that is imported. That compound is also directly linked to causing cancer in a big way. It has been banned in certain countries, not others, not ours. It is huge in America, and the Appeal chemical, it wasn't made by Bill Gates. Bill Gates invested in the guy that created the chemical. And the idea is this chemical then keeps fruit and veg to last even longer, even though that's what fridges were designed for, and keeping things cool and fresh. Appeal is a chemical, really bad, really bad. That hasn't got to the forefront of people knowing about it yet. But they do know about the going into animal feed and stopping cows farting, which is absolutely nonsense, because methane, which it's better seeing the video done by Farm Theory, because he explains it in a way that I can't. It basically goes in the atmosphere, is there for a very short amount of time, and then comes back down in basically water molecules and does nothing. And for the amount that, especially grass-fed beef, sequester carbon-wise, which I have got a little chart now, which I show you all. If you see the percentage a cow produces of what a cow and a tractor produces of carbon compared to what grass-fed cows sequester, is huge. So this climate narrative has got to go away, because it's absolute nonsense. Now, what I think would be really important, especially from a new union standpoint, is releasing the truth to our consumers. If our consumers knew the government, I don't know if anyone saw the gentleman that spoke at a Reform Valley in Cornwall, explaining on how much food is basically wasted and thrown away. There is like an average of 30 to 35% of food stays in the field, and I don't mean on so much in the livestock sector, but definitely in the fruit and veg sector. If people knew that, you can get some monster cauliflowers, absolute monsters, but the guys that grow certain veggies, like cauliflowers and cabbages, have rings, and if a collie or vegetable doesn't fit through that ring, they can't sell it. They either sell it at their farm gate, or it gets thrown away and ditched in the field, which is a waste. When what we should be doing is selling every item that is created by the kilo or the litre, and having it as simple as that. Not, oh, it's too big, it's too small. Livestock industry, it's too fat, it's too thin, it's too lean. The bureaucracy, a farmer can't help the genetics of an animal, right? even though we all work to do the best with genetics as we can, whether it's livestock centre, fruit, veg, everyone's trying to get the best genetics to get the best produce. At the end of the day, it's still a bit of luck at the other end as well, that even if you have the two best genetics cross-sex from each other, still doesn't mean it's 100% proof that the next animal coming through is going to have gathered those genes in the gene pool within the breeding cycle. Is it impossible to work all this out? If the UK consumer knew how the governments are trying to, well, the waste of time of rewilding, we could be producing more food, which would be greener because it'd be at home, we wouldn't have to transport it in. Planting flowers for bird food, wild bird food and bees, which then we also get told that, you know, obviously the sheep love that and the cattle love that, but they don't. It's not what they want. They want pasture grass pretty much all the time, some clover. Set aside how we've all got to have, or it's not so bad now for anyone not in the arable sector, but the arable sector quite often still got to have set aside on certain field boundaries and stuff, which is, again, complete waste of time. It's not growing food. It's compacted because it's not utilised. It's used as basically road networks in-house in fields. So it doesn't have a mixed, diverse amount of animals and stuff or insects living in it. That is very, very much fictional. And they want us to plant more trees, especially the poor guys over in Wales that are getting told that they've got to put in a certain amount of trees in the next few years. For what reason? Because last time I checked, they are going on about us not being allowed to run wood burners. Apparently wood burners is now, you know, high in the topic of being really bad for the environment. There's lots of things that we need to push out to the public, which don't seem to be getting pushed out to the public with the way our industry currently is. Especially when I saw that also Farmers Weekly bent the knee on this use of the Bovaer in animal feed. Things need to be addressed. And I think there needs to be a readdress in quite a hard line. And this is just basically a catch-up video to tell you guys all what I've been up to. We need your help. It's for what's got to happen, and the idea is a way that we protest across all 92 odd counties in the UK at the same time. We need everyone. So there are county groups within the network that we created. Every county group is a private network to itself. Every county group's got a team of coordinators or building a team of coordinators. So if you watching this now are a doer and you want to get things done and you're fed up with the way they are, on behalf of the team, we need your help. We need to stop what the Labour government are doing, and we need to change British agriculture for the better. That's the way I feel. So I've become quite drawn into this. I've been to multiple meetings. I'm doing everything I can because I believe this has got to change, because UK agriculture doesn't change, we're all done for and we're all gone. At the moment, I would like to build a new shed, which is currently trying to rip itself down in this weather. But I see no point in any farm investment if I'm going to potentially lose nearly a third to close to half the farm if anything happens to my parents. So that's what I'm going to leave you all on this video. So thank you guys for watching. I will leave all links to the Farm to Action group down below. There is going to be a big meeting in Exeter Livestock Market on the 11th when Kent are protesting in London and the Welsh are going to Cardiff, the Scots are going to Edinburgh, and the Northern Ireland are going to Belfast. Fingers crossed that all syncs up. farmerstoaction is working with the likes of Matt Cullen in the Kent farmers that are doing the London protests, and working with Clyde Bailey and Farmers Forum and others, trying to link everything together. So this is a case where we all need to, I feel we all need to unite together, but that's not necessarily what you think watching this. Some people are still on the fence of what needs to be done. Many aren't. So if you want to help, I'm going to leave it to everyone to make their own decisions. Please join the Farmers to Action group, website, forum, and you can get all the intel and information in there and find out when all the Zoom meetings are and things like that of what's going on. Thank you for watching. Until next time, cheers.